States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Moment of silence. And we're away. All righty.
It really was a moment.
I count to 10 in my head,
Wow,
but I count
that's
fast
pretty
sometimes.
fast. Yeah.
Let's see. So first item we have, request approval of IGA 44300-000572225 with Oregon Health Authority and authorize Mike Rowley to sign. Coos Health and Wellness.
I promise to take this one
Oh,
for
okay.
Mike because it's somewhat related to legality stuff.
I see.
And it's his only agenda item. So this is a IGA that we have with OHA for them to provide tort liability coverage for more or less our forensics team. They provide psychiatric services. And through this agreement, we get covered through the state of Oregon's self-insurance fund, should there be any sort of lawsuit regarding those services. So this has been a long-standing arrangement we've had with them going back as far as I can recall. It has nothing to do with the recent spat over the CFAA. So.
If I remember correctly, the forensic team is the side that deals with folks that have committed crimes, right?
No, it's more civil commitment.
Okay. I mix them up because forensic sounds like crime.
No, it's not crime.
Okay.
Psychiatric services. So we'll
Psychiatric
be able to get
services.
some help for Commissioner Sweet then.
And we'll be covered in case they.
Nice.
That'd be good, comforting to know. In the meantime, I'll approve. I move we approve the intergovernmental agreement number 44300-000572225-0 with Oregon Health Authority and authorize Department Head Mike Rowley to sign.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. On to the next one. Thank you, Proxy Mike. Request approval amendment 2 to contract with Strata Design LLC for Ross Inlet Wall Failure Project and authorize Paul Slater to sign. Morning, Paul.
Good morning. So this is for our pile wall project out on Ross Inlet Road at milepost 5, well, almost 5. Just to have Strata Design, this was a second amendment, I believe, to the contract with Strata to provide construction engineering services during the pile wall installation. We had some key times that we needed to have them out there to double check the work. So wanted to request the board approve and authorize myself to sign amendment number 2 with Strata to provide construction engineering services on the Ross Inlet Wall Failure Project, not to exceed $16,000.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve and authorize Roadmaster to sign amendment number 2 with Strata Design LLC to provide construction engineering services on our Ross Inlet Wall Failure Project, not to exceed $16,000.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Is this the area right next to Somar, just around the corner? Or
No, this is on the other end of Ross Inlet, up behind the old Southport Mill
Oh, okay.
by Isthmus Slough.
Oh, okay.
We had an old pile
Oh,
wall
I know
that
what you're talking
failed.
about.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to leave that go for quite a while.
we did for a while. We finally got it fixed.
I was teasing Megan.
Megan was
She
calling me.
ignored
Megan
me.
was calling
She
too
ignored
much.
it.
We had to fix it.
So,
I still think she could just go around.
She could have.
so this is just for oversight and observation for aspects of the project that were not foreseen that developed in construction.
No, these were. I mean, they're planned times for them to be out there. They did the design for the project, and then they offered to provide construction and engineering services as well. This is an amendment to cover additional time spent. We had them. They had to make multiple trips. I think they made a total of 6 or 7 trips down there to oversee the pile driving, the anchor rod installation, the controlled density fill installation, the torquing of the tiebacks, and then a final visit when it was.
Okay. I guess I'm just trying to understand how the projected workload was missed in the original contract.
The original didn't include all of these visits. The original included they could and will provide construction engineering, but we were to detail some of those details later once we knew. The original design was actually done so that our crews could build the project, but it was beyond us, and we just didn't have the time since we had that March storm last year.
Right.
We were too busy chasing a lot of other things.
Right.
So we ended up contracting it out.
All right.
I missed it on the last one. Does the public have any comments on the fascinating topic of wall failures? That would appear to be no. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
It's kind of fascinating.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks,
It's
Paul.
fascinating for Paul. I apologize. Yeah. Next one, request approval of timber and operations patrol services TOPS agreement with Agnes LLC.
Good morning.
Captain.
John.
Morning.
So I'm proud to say that with TOPS this last year, we brought this position completely out of the general fund. So it is now 100% paid for
Nice.
by not the county, by the various timber operators in the state of Oregon for the Elliott. That being said, we have a new contract here with Agnes LLC that recently purchased some land, and they would like to be included in the TOPS program. This is a prorated amount for 5 months until we redo the contracts coming up this next fiscal year.
Okay.
I move we approve and sign the attached contract and agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Where's their land? You know offhand?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they're.
Suggest,
which
the name suggests Curry County.
Yeah, which plot they ended up buying.
Doesn't make any difference, but just curious.
Cool. And public? That'd be a no. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. On to the next one. Thank you, Sean. Oh, this is
That's
still you.
Sean.
Still me.
Request approval to pay increased invoice for vehicle outfitting. All righty.
So the original upfitting was done by our vendor Lear, and that just included their stuff. This is the final things to get the vehicle ready to go and operational. That includes a locking tonneau cover so we can store equipment in the back of the vehicle, and tires that are suitable for our roads up in the woods around here, so the vehicle will be able to go wherever it needs to go. And the last vendor did not stripe the vehicle, so we got to get it striped or get it marked.
Were
Mr.
these
Chair, move to approve to increase the contract amount by $4,253.
Second.
motion and a second. Discussion. Were those oversights by the vendor?
I'm sorry?
Was the absence of those services oversights by the vendor?
Yes.
Okay.
And they actually, we had it on the last board meeting, and we had to get an updated invoice in order to appropriately account.
Okay. Are we looking at other vendors or?
We're trying, so with the vehicles that we got through the grant with the tribe, they're actually with another vendor, with Wireworks. So we're kind of keeping an eye on how they do.
Okay. Anybody else?
Oh, sir.
All right. Public? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. Okay, now thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you, Captain.
And next one we have is request approval to increase spending authority for cost share program fiscal year 2026. How good are you, Jill?
Morning, Jill.
Good
Morning,
morning. Jill Rolfe, Community Development. I'm here today to ask for an increase in spending authority. So the Coos County Noxious Weed Control District was established in 2008 pursuant to RS 569370. And as part of their statutory responsibilities, we're required to provide some type of cost share program. And the way that we provide the cost share program is people apply for eligible projects, and we reimburse 40% of the herbicide cost. They provide the labor and then attend safety meetings and weed identification meetings to meet that threshold. So this year, I'm not doing a contract with an herbicide vendor. I'm using state purchasing, but I still need an increase in spending authority.
How much? Oh, I move we approve the increase in the Coos County Noxious Weed Control District Advisory Board spending authority for the herbicides for the cost share program in an amount not to exceed $20,000 for fiscal year 2026.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
So
Well,
how much of this do we recoup? I mean, we pay out 20,000, we get
All of it
40%
is,
back?
so it's paid for by grant funds and then the 40% from the 60% from the landowner.
Right, okay, the 40% comes from grant
Yes.
funds. State grant funds?
A federal.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Never knew that.
Yeah,
all these
I
years.
apply for RAC grants. We've applied for state weed board grants, but we're so small in our percentage that we treat that usually we're at the bottom of the list for funding, unfortunately.
or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I continue to beat the drum that, I wish we, as a county, as a society, would find better alternatives to utilize rather than covering our landscape with herbicides that always end up in the watershed, end up in the fish, end up, the percentage of people that have identifiable levels of glyphosate in our systems is breathtaking. It's like 80%. And we're going to pay a toll for that. I think we already are. And I appreciate the work of the weed board, and Jill, I know you put in a ton of time with that, and other people do as well. But, it would be negligent for me to sit here and not acknowledge that this is a serious health risk that we undertake just for convenience. And, it's more expensive, but we manage on our private property without any herbicides. I sure would like to see us do that more broadly.
I have to counter that by saying, in my own experience, I've suffered a lot more pain from gorse than I have from herbicides
So far.
so far. But so far it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. You're well above the
I
average life
probably should
expectancy.
also say 75% of our applicants are in Bandon area for Goris.
Yep.
Okay. I see a discussion item, but you got to come to the mic and introduce yourself. We might just move that over to that side someday.
Just come over there.
Back Kush,
Okay, 2 minutes for this portion.
Phil Thompson, Coos Bay. I'd just like to say on the herbicide deal, I've used it quite a few times. And each time, I think I've had to go to one of them state-sponsored deals to tell you how to use it and everything else. They had some good classes. Well, I haven't been probably in a couple of years now, but you were required to take the class. So, like he says, some of them chemicals are poisonous, but everything else is right now. You breathe the exhaust of these cars or everything else. We've got all kinds of things that kill us. But I think we need the herbicide stuff. I really do.
Good. Thank you. Oops, there we are.
I guess if the government tells us how to use it, then it's safe.
All righty. Got discussion done, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and we will keep rolling. You're not off the hook yet. Request approval order approving vacation VAC 25002, petitioner Rankin. Yep, you're up.
So the request is to vacate an alleyway located in Bennett's abandoned beach plat A between blocks 14 in Township 28, Range 15, Section 36AB. This was found to be in the public's interest. All the comments have been received, and now we're just sending this to you for final approval. Page 1 of the order shows a map, even though it's not the best viewing map, but there is a map to give you an idea. So I'm
This is down in Sunset City?
just requesting approval. Bennett Platt, I don't think it's in Sunset City, but it is south of. It could be part of Sunset City.
I was just thinking of a vacation that we were
Yeah.
dealing with recently down there.
It was a much bigger meeting for that one.
Yeah, this is 100% ownership.
Yeah.
We didn't receive any negative comments about it when we sent
Cool.
out for comments. And the roadmaster issued the findings for the public interest.
Mr. Chair, move to adopt order number 26-01-010PL, vacation of the entire alleyway located in Block 14, plat of Bennett's Bandon Beach Plat A, Township 28 South, Range 15 West, Section 36A and B, Coos County, Oregon.
Second to motion?
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Love to see land going to private property owners.
It is nice. Public. Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Now you're off the hook.
Thank you, Jill.
We're on to Kyla. Award of contract for courthouse perimeter fencing project and authorize Kyla.
Good morning. Hey, you got it right.
Thank you. I keep saying Kayla.
Kyla Foster with maintenance. We have been working on a fencing project with state courts. State courts is footing the bill. We took this in front of the board a while back, getting approval to move forward. And so we went out for architectural plans for the drop of where we're getting electrical and making sure that we're not missing anything with ADA compliance, egress, ingress. I went out for bids. I contacted 3 different firms. We got a response back from 2, and I am requesting approval to sign the contract with Crow Clay and Associates. Their bid came back in with the least amount, and then their timeline was a little bit more streamlined.
I move we approve awarding the perimeter fencing project contract to Crow Clay and Associates and authorize maintenance operations manager Kyla Foster signing authority.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Is this for installation or is this just for design?
Just the design. So we have a lot of different electrical points that we're gonna have to pull from, and that's kind of the biggest part that I'm not really sure about. The fencing should go pretty fast.
And this is fully funded by state courts.
It is.
Awesome.
They're footing the whole bill.
I have some questions.
Go for it.
So there's no contract included with the agenda item. Was that something we sorted out after the? Well, I just see the summary of quotes. So, do we have a signed contract with Tim?
Yes, I gave it to Bobby.
Okay. Okay, just making sure. And that's just our standard template?
Yes.
Okay. And we did set a not to exceed amount in the agreement of 10,000?
It's 9,200 is the bid that we got.
Understood. In the contract, did we?
We put it for
The exact amount. Okay. Thanks.
Very good.
All righty. Questions from the public? Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank
And we're
you.
on to the next. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyla.
Request approval of contract with Nathan Line Nivens for domestic mediation services. You're up.
Yeah, we have another mediator. We, as you know, are the contracting agency for these mediators, but by and large, it's a state court function. that's paid for through state court fees. So cost neutral for the county. So we're just, looks like we're adding a another mediator to our list.
Okay. We have a motion?
I move we sign and submit the letter, oops, I'm in the wrong, I was looking ahead, excuse me. I move that we approve and sign the contract with Nathalie, is that right, Nivens, for mediation services.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Discussion amongst the audience. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. And then we will do a consent calendar with a late item and a late agenda item thereafter.
I move approval of the consent calendar.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Discussion.
No, sir.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We are on to a late agenda item.
I think everything is late.
Mr. Chair,
Oh.
I have a late work session, or this is not work session, it's the wrong title. Late agenda item regarding a letter submission to ODF&W Commission opposing crab petition, and I move to accept a late agenda item.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Discussion.
I move we sign and submit the letter opposing the petition request. That where we're at? That's the one we're
Sounds
after?
good to me.
Yeah,
Yep.
second that motion.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank you for really writing this letter. All I did is stick it on our letterhead for everybody's understanding and knowledge, and felt it was that it made adequately all the points that we would need to make in opposition to this effort by the Center for Biological Diversity, Oceana, NRDC, and the American Cetacean Society, a petition to further restrict the activities and practices regarding our Dungeness crab fishery. And I would be remiss to not mention that these non-governmental organizations that are funded surreptitiously by our tax dollars to further restrict the liberties of the very taxpayers whose money is used is absolutely reprehensible. I can't believe this ongoing lawfare from these radical leftist non-governmental organizations that continue to fight against everything that's good and right. And I am deeply concerned about who is really benefiting monetarily from this lawfare. And I am digging into it, and this thing has got me spitting nails. And Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank you for your well-phrased letter, and I look forward to voting and then signing this and getting it off to ODF&W today. And I hope that they do the right thing.
John?
Couldn't add anything to that.
I'll just note additionally, in talking with Charleston fishing families, the proposal would knock out about 1/3 of the crabbing fleet in Oregon due to the increased costs to retool their entire vessels. And as far as where the benefit is, I would suggest looking at large businesses with industrial practices, because this will knock out small fishing boats.
That's right.
And I plan to be at the hearing. There is a hearing at 8 o'clock in Springfield on Friday. I believe it was the Armed Services Training Center, one of those. I've got it in my calendar. It is frustrating that they put a topic about the coast at 8 a.m. in the valley. All right. Discussion amongst the audience? Nope. Yes.
I have several calls. I guess evidently you've had this stuff on Frank Williams. I'm vice president of the retired longshoremen for many, many moons. Anyway, I guess you guys have had this other issue on the pipeline and
Now, this is pertaining to the crab.
to what?
This is pertaining to the crab issue at hand, not the
Oh,
general
I asked
comments.
if it was for the citizen comments.
That's later. Couple
No,
minutes.
I'm sorry. This is the agenda item at hand.
Okay.
Citizens'
So
comments.
when you
will
want to
be
hear about the other?
a little later.
10 minutes.
Yep.
All right.
Stay close, Frank.
Yeah.
Can't hardly hear you. I can hear you.
So no comments on this agenda item. All in favor?
No hands online.
No hands online. Thank you.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes.
I have a couple
Uh-oh.
late agenda
Oh,
items.
yes. Okay.
I move approval of a late agenda item regarding the learning management system for employee training content.
Second?
Motion and a second.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right.
Colton?
I'm going to ask the expert, Michelle, to come on up here and talk about this potential switch to a new learning management system. We are looking to move away from the current software Bridge and back to Atlantic, which we had at least once before.
I think 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. So,
So I've been looking into trying to find content that would work for all of the county. We are labeled as just general industry, but our parks and our roads and our solid waste, they often do other type of trainings that we have to purchase outside of the training content that we already have. So I've been trying to find something that would work for us as a whole. I think I've put about 6 to 8 months in research on who had the best content, who had the most up-to-date OSHA training content, and I wanted content that people would actually watch, because the current content that we have is very mundane, it's boring, it's the same kind of AI voice that just the whole time. Nobody really wants to do it. So
Wait a minute, could you do that again?
so I found Atlantic. They have a really good software. The content is excellent. It's a little bit more money, but still under our 10,000 spending authority. So I'd like to contract with them for a year, see if everybody's happy with it, and then
I move we authorize spending authority to purchase Atlantic's Wave Compliance Suite for a total of $10,000.
Second?
Motion and a second. Discussion.
that's one other thing I would add, which is that currently Public Works, or is it Roads, has to purchase additional
yes.
training because Bridge doesn't offer all of it. And I
Yes.
believe Atlantic offers a lot of those things that they've had to purchase a la carte. So
Yes.
we're saving a little bit of money out there in Public Works.
I'd like to comment to the public on the return that we've received over the years for our safety programs. It's been worth hundreds upon hundreds of thousands in reduced insurance costs and more importantly, in reducing risk to our employees. And I'd also like to thank Michelle. This is, up until recently, always been a full-time position for someone else. She does this in addition to her duties as assistant to our county council and is doing a bang-up job, and thank you so
Thanks.
much.
All righty. Audience interest? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. Did we have more?
Yes, do. I'd like to approve another late agenda item for a change in job description for the Coos County Road Department.
Is that a motion?
I believe it was.
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes.
I move to withdraw. You go ahead.
Oh, okay, so you guys have
We've
voted to hear
approved
those.
the
To
late.
hear another late
Okay,
agenda item.
yeah. I'll have Caroline come up if, she's the other expert regarding this time human resources topics, and we're looking at basically redoing a job description out there in the road department.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Caroline.
Request the Board of Commissioners withdraw its prior approval of the right-of-way supervisor job description that was approved on February 3rd. This is in order to allow for further review and consideration of revisions. A revised job description will be presented to the board for approval at a future date.
Mr. Chair, I move to withdraw approval of the right-of-way supervisor job description pending edits.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
It's always good to get it right.
Yeah.
While, yeah, I have discussion, and while I'm in the mode of complimenting people, I'd like to compliment Caroline. She brings so much energy and skill to the position of HR officer. I can tell you she spent this last long weekend working to keep up. She has a tremendous workload and does it very, very well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And public? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have more?
No,
I'll
that's
say,
the last late, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just so thankful to have Michelle and Caroline to assist me. I couldn't do my job without those two. So
Awesome.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle, if you can hear us.
Commissioner reports. Who wants to go first?
Rod, you start?
Sure. Let's see. Well, we've had some good progress over the last couple weeks regarding the Fair Food Pavilion building. And despite some trepidation and a little bit of disagreement about how to proceed with that up here on the dais, it seems to be advancing. So we'll hope for continued successes there. And appreciate the hard work that everybody has done that's been participating in that, particularly the fair volunteers. I continue to be amazed at those guys and how many hours they spend over at the fairgrounds working for free with equipment and donating their own time and money and materials and everything. It's amazing. The progress at the animal shelter for the incinerator installation is going great. We got a slab poured this week, thanks to Craig and the Parks Department guys that came and helped pour that 12-inch thick slab. And thanks to Jason Patterson for the great job that he does out there and all the extra hours. It's really, really amazing. Later this week, I'll be attending some meetings at the Oregon Logging Conference, meeting with some key people and trying to get a better handle on how the O&C harvest increase as well as the increased payment formula is going to specifically impact us for the upcoming budget discussions, which is just in a couple of weeks we start that, and so I'm looking forward to hopefully having some good news. In actually, a strange anomaly is that unfortunate factor of timing is that our quarterly Association of O&C Counties meeting happens a day after our first round of budget discussions is over. So I'm looking to get some advance information and see if we can't bring that into the budget discussions, but we'll see how that works out. And other than previously discussed things today already, that's about all I have.
My turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about a new company that, not new here, they're just here investigating. Paul's probably better positioned to talk about this than I. It's a company named Koloma, Koloma. They are a startup company with a $400 million capitalization, and they're in the business of searching for hydrogen deposits. And they will be doing some sonar investigation of lands along our county right-of-ways and road right-of-ways in Coos County. Initial testing of air from the air indicates that there's good promise here that there will be, or there are, deposits of hydrogen underground here in our county, and there's no promise of anything other than just discovering that it's there, that they've made to date, but it is interesting, and they will. Paul, you should tell what the devices are like. You probably won't even see them, but you might see people out alongside our roads fiddling around, and you probably want to know what it's about.
Yeah, my understanding, we just issued a permit for them to do this in our right-of-ways. I think there's somewhere between 15 and 20 locations scattered basically from Coquille north and slightly east, but there's not really anything south in the Bandon area, anything like that. Yeah, the devices are smaller than a 5-gallon bucket. They're probably, depends on which device exactly they use. I was told they were going to use the smaller of the two that they were approved for. The larger one is probably close to the size of a 5-gallon bucket. The smaller one is probably maybe 8 to 12 inches in diameter and about the same height. And it has prongs, they stick into the ground, and then it's just going to get left there for a period of time. They have to be done with all this by June is what their plan is. So, yeah, if you see a weird-looking truck, I mean, it's going to look like any other, construction-type pickup. Probably has a canopy on it. For the most part, they'll be doing all their work off the road and, on shoulders that are wide. They might have some temporary traffic control put up just to slow traffic down a little bit because they're in the area. But, yeah, these devices are pretty low impact. They're really just going to, they drive a small hole into the ground with a driving pin, and then they set these devices on it, and then they leave it for a period of time. I can't remember exactly how long, but it's not very long, maybe a week, just to monitor. I think they're monitoring mostly vibrations in the ground to identify, and somehow that correlates to where hydrogen might be. And I don't understand the science well to get to that, but you'd have to have somebody from Coloma come in and talk about that. But anyway, yeah, there'll be a number of those scattered around the county for a period of time. They're supposed to be done by the end of June.
I know very little about hydrogen, but if some group of people are willing to put up $400 million to try to find it, it must be pretty valuable.
Yeah, they do claim that there appears to be deposits here that could be worth trying to chase after, so.
Good. Thank you.
Yep.
And I hope you don't have questions, because I've told you all I know.
You got her? You had something?
Yeah, I had something else that I had forgotten. I'm going to share my screen here. We had a discussion a couple weeks ago about Coos Health and Wellness sponsoring the It's Not a Phase prom, and there's a couple of photos, happy photos from the event that I thought I would just share with us all here. So there's my screen, and here we go. There's one of our.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Yeah, there's one of our nice photos from one of the attendees at that event.
That was the performer.
And there's another one that is just for everyone's edification. Just some happy photos I thought I would share from the event. So I wasn't there, but I guess there were some people that were. Anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Yep. For my part, last week I was in Salem for a period of time. We had Association of Counties at the Capitol Day, so I was able to testify on a bill. I had mentioned I proposed 8 different things over to Senator David Brock Smith's office. They were limited on how many bills they could submit, but he was able to work, or his office was able to work 5 of them in as amendments to other bills. The one I was able to testify on, because the hearing happened while I was there, was allowing people to rebuild their houses more easily after they've burnt down. So that came about shortly after I got into office. A fellow called me, his house had burnt down, he wanted to reconstruct. State told him that he would have to make upgrades to the systems that would have totaled $40,000, which is a little difficult after your house just burnt down. So this bill, the one that was proposed, allowed people to go back to the codes that existed up to 10 years ago. The National Home Builders Association estimates that the average home in Oregon is over 40 years old, so that wouldn't do much for a lot of people. So I was able to provide testimony supporting that expansion on that criteria, that it be at the time of construction, not a 10-year look back. And another bill that made it into an amendment was a study on juvenile substance abuse. Coos County, we've got a substantial issue with that, primarily around hard drugs. It was noted in a study by the hospital that there is an abnormal rate of youth jumping from sober to Schedule I drugs in Coos County, things like fentanyl and meth. So that is another important issue. Crab issue we covered already. As I mentioned, I'm planning to be in Springfield at their hearing at 8 a.m. on Friday. I'll drive up that morning. There's a convoy leaving, I believe, from the Visitor Center in North Bend, starting at 5 o'clock, of folks going to the hearing. Hydrogen's an interesting one that came up. I had done digging into that earlier last year. So some of the factors there, Japan has an objective to substantially reduce the cost of hydrogen in their country by 2030. And as you know, we've got legacy shipping relations with Japan, so that could be one of the things they're seeing. Toyota's got a pilot car that makes more than 400 miles to the refill, and it refills just like a gas car, I understood. And then last bit, Pride Prom, attended that. Told folks I wanted to look at what it was, get my own eyes on it. There was no bar environment around the mocktails. It was just a booth with the drinks that were not alcoholic, not to my taste. I swear to God, one of them had mustard in it. But everyone was dressed appropriately, as was the picture of the individual that was a performer. That's how he was dressed the entire time he performed. There was one other performer dressed more appropriately than some of the folks with their senses that I've seen on street. So, yeah, seemed to go well. Minimal issues. There were some issues with people causing some trouble outside. That was quickly dealt with. North Bend Police Department was on site. Security was amplified for the mall. So, yeah, minimal issues. And that would, if we don't have anything else, that'll take us to citizen comments.
You have one online.
Oh, one online. Well, you were first, and then we'll get to online. I believe. Well, actually, I've got a list, and then we'll get to online. Huh?
I thought he was signed up first, and I signed up after.
Yep, Frank, you're first. Go ahead.
I'm number one.
You're number one.
Got your clock ready, John?
Oh, no, the clocking is mine. You've got 3 minutes for this section.
3 minutes?
Yep.
What happened to the 5-minute one?
Sean shows you out.
All right. Well, I would say maybe you didn't, I thought maybe you would have this on the agenda about the timber and the pipeline, because I've had a few calls on it. Seemed to be a little public mistrust about the tribes and stuff. You know, there was 85% of the people voted when they tried to take over the Bay Area, and I was in on that. And they had to have go
Talking about the
site.
TCP?
I don't know what they called it.
Okay.
That's been 3 years ago.
Yep, I remember.
All right. Well, anyway, the tribes lost out because there was 85% of the people voted, and they went down and got plenty of signatures, and they had to be notarized. And not only that, you know, the new pellet mill there is on Indian property. They're not wanting to use longshoremen.
Okay.
All right. That's another thing. And there's also been a little public trust since the county signed that position with Governor Brown, and we lost so many mom and pop stores. It closed down because they shut everything down. The only thing you could buy is whiskey and cigarettes, marijuana. That was left in Coos County when we had COVID. That's two things you could do. You couldn't go get a haircut, couldn't go to a beauty shop. You couldn't go to restaurants.
Okay.
A lot of mom and pops failed. So there's a little bit of mistrust for some of the commission, whether you guys is in on it or not. So I can see that. And now we'll go over to the pipeline. I feel there is a value to the pipeline because it's hooked up to the schools and the hospital. Maybe, and I know you've spent a lot of, I've talked to you guys and they've had to spend a lot of money on it, but has there been any bids put out on it, anybody else wanting to purchase it, other than Northwest Natural? That's what I was interested in. I think there is a possibility probably somebody else might be in line because I do know now they make ships, being as a longshoreman for 40 years, that they do ships now since I've retired that have LNG. If that LNG and your terminal gets started in there was an article I seen, the crude oil that the 15 cargo ships use is more pollution than all the major cities in the whole United States. So, and I don't know, I've seen it and it's disappeared, who put that out. But if there's could be a possibility after you guys, I hate to see that you guys retire and be drawing your deal and give the pipeline around to Northwest Natural, and there comes in ships in there, and they draw more fuel out to fuel the ships than anything else that's in the county. So that's my concern.
We're about at 3 minutes.
Of course, Frank, the county doesn't realize any revenue from the gas volume that goes through the pipeline.
Yeah.
And our dissolving that or dispersing, selling that asset isn't going to change the access to the gas at all, nor the price of the gas. So all it does is relieve the county of the liability of maintaining the pipeline.
Well, that seems to be why you would like to get rid of it.
That's right.
And here's another thing. They said, didn't we have a deal on that? $50 million or our tax money went towards that?
I think we can respond to this. The time did pass unless folks want to continue a discussion.
My 3 minutes is up?
Yep.
No answer.
No, we can answer now.
Colton, do you want to, can you make comments on this? A little bit tender. I can do it. Gas has become very important to this region. Our major employers, ones that provide a good part of our family wage jobs, are dependent upon gas. Unfortunately, the pipeline that brings the gas from the Roseburg area to Coos County traverses some very tough land. It's an area prone to slides, an area prone to riverbank erosion, and the fact that the pipeline there hasn't made it any less critical. At any rate, we're in constant fear and almost constant work making major repairs to the pipeline. We have $2 million left in our maintenance reserve for the pipeline, and to properly fix it, the estimate is over $12 million. We could very easily wake up after a major flood or major landslide and find ourselves without gas service. We have not, as a county, the resources to repair that gas pipeline and put it back into good working condition. So Northwest Natural has expressed interest. We had looked over the years for any other company that would be interested. None even responded. So we're working with Northwest Natural and the PUC to get approval to sell the gas pipeline. It's never generated a profit. I don't know when it will. It's very important to us for jobs and homes. All of our major employers, as I indicated, are using natural gas. Roseburg Forest Products, Southport Lumber Company, GMA Garnett, Coos Bay School System, the hospital in Coos Bay, the creamery in Myrtle Point. It touches all of our lives practically, and the thought of having it disappear would be impose a really tough economic situation upon our county. You look at Roseburg Forest Products, they recently spent $50 million putting in a new veneer dryer powered by natural gas. They have to have it. They have no other form of energy that they can afford that would meet the emissions requirements imposed upon them by the EPA. They can't use diesel, they can't use hog fuel. Natural gas is the only one. I've never heard of, in the case of Southport Lumber Company, they try to dry as much of their lumber as possible to reduce the weight and therefore reduce the shipping costs so they can be more competitive. Shipping costs out of Coos Bay are very, very high to most lumber markets, if not to all lumber markets. So that's important to them. And I've never heard of a well, I guess you could have hog fuel to fire your dry kiln, heat the dry kilns, but to dry the lumber, but it's not practical. They don't have a space out there for that. They couldn't put in a hog fuel burning facility. So the hospital uses it, the schools use it. We have to have it. And we would not be able to assure people natural gas service. So I think the sale is a really good thing. I don't think we ever expected to get $50 million for it. We're getting benefit in jobs, but I'm sorry we're not able to recover anything. But we're not in the driver's seat. We have to get rid of it to someone who can maintain it, and obviously it hasn't earned a profit, hasn't earned enough to take care of the maintenance. I think the deal we got is the best we're going to get. And we have assurance now that you'll have natural gas for all the things that you look for in the future, Frank.
I'd note as well for the cost of the repairs, I don't think the PUC would let us raise the rates substantially, but if they were raised to the level where this could be maintained, it would be catastrophic for the households that use it economically.
Really, what
and
I'm against is the $2 million you're gonna give them to take it over.
That's less than a fifth of what's needed. And then understanding that this was built under the speculation that Jordan Cove would come through, that didn't. We spent 26 years on hoping. We got to deal with the now.
And that money was already designated for the repairs on the thing anyway. So it's not like an extra bump out of the general fund.
We can't do anything else.
Those
with
monies were already designated and have to be spent that way. So it really was the only thing that made sense.
I hope that addressed that. We did have somebody online we should get out of the way. Who's online?
You got Chris Castleman.
Chris, what you got? 2 minutes here, 3 minutes once you start. I won't start it without you.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
We hear you. Go for it.
Cool. This is Chris Castleman from Coos County. I wanted to give a comment about the biggest discussion item from 2 weeks ago, which was the Pride Prom, the funding from Coos Health and Wellness. So I attended the event on Saturday, and I'm kind of disappointed in how all this went down. It was completely avoidable, right? So we've divided the community. We had a bunch of division at the last meeting. There's still division out there in the community about it. People are pretty upset on both sides, and it was completely avoidable. So the situation with the mocktails was like there were no mocktails at this party, at this prom, and it doesn't make sense. So it was punch. If there was never anything promoted about mocktails or anything said about it, and you asked these kids afterwards, what were you drinking? They would have said punch. It was fruit punch. So I don't know what Drew's talking about having mustard in his. Maybe someone literally put mustard in his, but it didn't taste. Well, you've got weird taste buds. I don't know. It tasted like fruit punch. And if you look at the ingredients on there, they had them listed. It was fruity things. It was punch. It was like, I've been to a prom. I think everybody's been to a prom, and it was prom punch. Like that was, again. So anyways, this whole thing about mocktails, labeling them as mocktails, created a ridiculous issue around it, whether it was appropriate to have them at a kid's event and whether it was appropriate to spend public dollars on it. So the fact that it wasn't even the money, if it was meant to
Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Your time.
Nope. Can you hear me?
No, you're
It was
underwater
really
now.
muddled.
It might be on your side.
Can you hear me now?
Nope, you're like talking through a drum.
How about now?
No, you're real quiet. The IT trick of off and back on again has not succeeded. We can
Is this
circle
any-
back so we can keep this thing moving. Give it one more try just in case.
Is this any better?
Oof.
No, it's trashed.
Yeah.
Give it a crack. You got a little time left. We'll circle back after we get the list in the room done.
It's like he's restarting his connection there.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Phil, that puts you up.
Phil Thompson, Coos Bay. I got so much I want to talk about. I don't know where to start now. So we're going to have longer meetings. My thing that I wanted to talk about was going back to the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands. It wasn't on the agenda, but this is what gets me. The citizens should be able to comment on anything they want to for their 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And well, but it says comments limited to non-agenda item.
Yeah.
So if it's on the agenda, I can't talk about it.
No, that's not accurate. You can talk about anything you
Well,
want.
good. I'm glad we got that straight because
So you
that's
could
one.
talk about agenda items. And
I was also going to make the point that during when we was talking last week about the tribe and the Coos Bay Wagon Road lands and stuff, you made the statement that was one reason Bob got voted out of office and you got in, and which basically that's not true because when he tried to change citizen comments, not just cut them off, he had a lot of people down on him for that. He had a lot of people down on him for not obeying state mandates. I mean, that's the way I look at it. This is my opinion. And a few other things that I won't go into. So what we really get down to is I think we got a commission that does not respect if the people comes here, listen to the meters, they vote on something, and then you guys know more than they do. So you go back and overturn them without having a vote. So I think it's not right. We should make some kind of thing that once the citizens vote, know that you guys got to come back and say either rescind that vote or have another vote to try to get over it. Now, they did the same thing on taxing the county parks here just recently. The people I know said no twice, and then we had some people get together out of Empire. I'm not saying who, the commissioners and local town officials and stuff, and they didn't figure it was fair for the state to be taxing their people, but the county not taxing us. We own those parks, and we should get a break because most of the people using the county parks do not have the money to go somewhere else, to Montana, California, and stuff like that. So why in the hell do we tax our own people for owning the parks they already paying taxes on? And this is my part. They went against the people's vote again. So I wish you guys would consider that when somebody has voted on something, we rescind that vote or we leave it alone. And that's my whole thing, and I thank you very much.
Thank you. Yep. Let's see. David.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Jennings. I live here in Coquille. I wanted to comment on the Pride Prom events of the last meeting and then going forward. I've heard a lot of comments about this still, and one of the things that's very sad, I certainly respect the right of people to have different opinions, but a lot of the things that are being said are things that I think are things that people know really aren't quite true, but they say them because they want to create further conflict. You know, one example of this is I know I've seen this photograph that is fake, artificial intelligence, I think, produced that shows one of the commissioners with kids and with a drag queen, which is probably a more terrifying photograph than the ones that Commissioner Taylor has sent out. And I think it's regrettable that people use these things to be divisive, and I think it really creates an ugly climate that's regrettable. We can disagree about things, but I think we need to learn to do it in a way that isn't quite so vicious. The other thing I think that needs mentioning is that I know that there's a lot of fear around Pride events, and apparently there are some people that in their minds genuinely they equate this with the danger of pedophilia. I think that fortunately most heterosexuals don't lust after children. Conversely, most people that are not heterosexuals don't lust after children. Pedophilia is indeed a problem, but it's something we have to be careful at. We can't equate it with some particular type of sexual orientation except pedophilia itself. The other thing is I think when you get afraid about these kind of events, we tend to forget the way that pedophiles operate. They're very manipulative, they're attracted to kids, and wherever you have an opportunity to be around kids, I think it's a genuine concern that you need to have controls that will watch out for that without being overly paranoid. On the other hand, the evidence shows overwhelmingly that children are most likely to be sexually molested by somebody either in their family, immediate or extended, or people that are around the family. And pedophiles tend to use things like everything from athletics to regrettably church events to try to reach out to kids. And you need to have a realistic understanding of that before you can really deal with this problem. One thing that bothers me too that I don't think people seem to understand is how much it isn't the only part of it that you need to have, but that law enforcement and criminal justice is something you need to combat pedophilia. And one of the things that always surprises me is we have so many people that get up and express support for law enforcement, but they don't seem to want to pay anything additional to fund it at a time when it's really being stripped of its ability to do much. One of the things that I saw clear back in the spring of last year.
David, if you can complete your thought.
I will. The Department of Justice basically stripped out $130-some million in grants that went to juvenile delinquency type proceedings. So we talk a lot about, caring about children, but I think we need to put our money with our mouth where it is. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David. I'll note that same picture was posted on the doors of our office last week as well. I mentioned that children come in all ages, based on the folks I saw sharing the picture. I imagine it's someone in the 30 to 50 range, so that's a very old child. But fortunately, we have cameras around the building, so hopefully we can help them get the attention they want.
Okay, that's nice to know.
Chris is back to try again whenever you're.
Okay. We had about a minute 30 left for you, Chris. Do you want to try your audio?
Yeah, can you guys hear me all right?
No, it's dead
Nope,
still.
You're still muddy.
Sorry.
I think it's a mic on your end or
Try
a
on your
speaker.
phone to call into the meeting next. That might work. Or I'm not sure if you can call in, but there must be a way.
I'm on a different mic.
We can't tell what you're saying at all.
Nope.
We'll move to the next one.
Unrecognizable.
You might type it in as well, just to complete your thought. Next is Carrie Silva. Carrie?
Oh, listen, there's a comment online that they can hear him just fine.
Oh, he
So
sounds like,
it's apparently just in the room.
Huh. Okay.
it sounds like a whale to me.
It does.
Okay. Forgive me if I go over. I didn't
Yeah.
time myself, so
We'll just try and keep it quick.
I will try.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Carrie Silva, and I am the co-owner. And forgive me if I'm very emotional. So,
Yep.
I'm the co-owner of the fishing vessel Jeanette Marie out of Charleston, and part of the multi-generational fishing family here in Coos County. I first want to sincerely.
I'm gonna
You need to start me
reset
over.
this. Are you ready?
Yeah. If you want, I can start from the beginning if you
That
want.
might be good.
Okay, perfect.
Go for it.
Okay. My name is Carrie Silva. I am the co-owner of the fishing vessel Jeanette Marie out of Charleston and part of the multi-generational fishing family here in Coos County. I want to personally and sincerely thank the commissioners for taking the time to review the current petition before the Oregon Fish and Wildlife Commission, and your willingness to consider how this issue affects our local economy and working waterfronts. It truly means a great deal to fishing families like mine. I'm here today not only to bring this petition to the attention of the full commission and the community, but also to respectfully ask for the continued awareness and the engagement as this moves forward. The petition proposes additional regulatory requirements for the Oregon Dungeness crab fishery before recently adopted whale entanglement risks measures have had time to be evaluated. Fishing families have already invested a substantial amount of time and money to comply with those rules in good faith. When additional changes are proposed before existing measures are given a fair chance to work, it creates uncertainty for the families who are simply trying to plan their season, support their crews, so they can support their own families and keep their business viable. The Dungeness crab fishery is not just an industry here. It is part of the industry of Coos County. It supports deckhands, processors, fuel docks, gear suppliers, local restaurants, and small businesses throughout the community. When the fleet feels instability, there's a ripple effect that is far beyond the harbor. We support whale conservation. We believe in protecting marine life and being responsible stewards of the ocean. But we also believe in fairness and stability for the fishermen who have committed their lives on working on the water. Commissioners, I know you care deeply about the long-term economic health of this community. I respectfully ask that you consider how deeply this fishery is woven into the fabric of our community and the generational families who depend on it. I hope you will remain engaged and, if appropriate, communicate concerns to the Oregon Fish and Wildlife Commission about the economic impacts this petition could have on Coos County. And I thank you for your time and your continued leadership in our community. If you have any questions, or I do my best.
Perfect timing. You were done with 20 seconds to spare.
Oh, good. Even with being nervous.
No, you're doing good.
I know. Thank you.
I imagine I'll see you at the hearing.
Yes, you will. I will let you know that. So there's an item on the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
It does start at 8 o'clock, and they will not get to us until about 11.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a very long day, so I want you to prepare for that.
Okay.
Yeah. And hopefully they'll be uncomfortably surprised at the support that is in opposition of this petition. You know, I've been in the industry for, with my husband, 44 years, and in the Oregon Dungeness crab fishery for 24. And we have complied year after year. I mean, when we first started, if I may, in 2002, we were quite prepared, I guess, if you want to say. We had about 1,500 to 1,700 pots.
What's normal?
Yes, in the beginning, that was in the beginning. It was whatever you can afford. Okay, so that's when we started, was in 2002. And then years later, there's another gear reduction, which it's fine. So we're at the 500 tier, 500, 300, 200. It depends on the size of your vessel, I guess, and how long you've been in the industry.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that came about. And then another change came along, which put nearshore late season is what they're calling it. So that we come in May 1st, bring in 10% of your gear out of the water, and also purchase a late season permit to be able to fish or crab. And now, with this petition and probably the fear of the unknown for ODF&W, they went ahead and kind of sort of complied with moving that late season to April.
I'll probably pick your brain more about this so I can be ready to head up to the hearing.
Okay, so April 1st.
Where is it folks can join you to go to the convoy up north?
Well, I plan on leaving my house at 4:30 to be there so I can sign up to speak. I'm going to go towards the end. But I believe they're meeting on this side of the McAuliffe Bridge.
Oh, yes.
Does that, in that area. I believe they're going to meet there between about 5 o'clock and head up. Hi, I'm going to go a little earlier.
Good to know.
So, yeah.
And where's the hearing? Where's the destination?
It's at an armoury. I want to say it's 301 Parker.
It's the Springfield Armory.
Springfield, yeah. Yes, and it's
Not
on
the gun company.
Parker.
Right. Not that cool.
No.
No, not that cool. I would love that. That would be awesome. But yeah, it's going to be a long process. They will, I believe ODF&W will put on their recommendations. They're going to recommend that the commission approve this petition. And then we're going to push hard. We have an attorney. We have some members of our newly reorganized Oregon. It's
Dungeness
reorganized.
Crab Commission, was it?
No,
Oh, okay,
Oregon
different one.
Coast Crab Association. Yes.
Is there going to be some kind of color coordination?
I believe so. There might be some hats that might be available for everybody.
What's the color?
Black and orange, I believe.
Uh-huh.
I believe the hat is black and the logo is orange.
Okay.
And I will wear my Jeanette Marie sweatshirt, and my son will be with me.
He'll be the billboard?
Yes. He won't speak, but he will be there.
Okay.
So yes, this is huge, and I am one of those small. I mean, she's 67 feet. It might sound large, but we're a single vessel.
Fleet, yeah.
Yes, so we're one of those that are in danger of losing our business.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you for your time.
Councilman is back.
And I would also like to I appreciate the letter
Okay.
in taking that up. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your suggestion. We do it as a commission as
I
well.
appreciate you right.
Let's take one more crack at it, Chris. You got a minute 30 remaining. I had paused your time when your audio died.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Man.
Uh-oh.
What if there's
Same
another-
thing. Stand by, Chris. It appears to be an internal problem here.
Can you turn your audio up on the laptop to see if it does it?
Yeah. Okay, just.
Are you-
I can hear him fine on my laptop.
Okay, let's see.
Are you able to hear me?
Thank you, volume.
Try it. Try that, Chris. Feedback loop. Yeah, laptop mic was down.
Can you hear me now?
That's
Muted
off
mic.
also. It was still doing that.
The owl's up. Owl's not on. Easiest if you type it, but. Give it a shot, Chris.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear the laptop a little.
I can hear you through my laptop a little bit. If I bring you up loud enough in the room, then we get that feedback.
Yeah, we'll just have to gather around. Okay. Or you can communicate what he says.
Yeah, I'll translate what you want to say as
Okay.
best I can, Chris.
Appreciate it.
Try this real quick and just see if this works too. Try that.
Are you guys able to hear me all right?
No, I can hear you. You want to go ahead, Chris?
Okay, can you guys hear me?
They cannot hear you. That we can't get your sound out into the room. I'm just listening.
Top mic, speaker right here, so I'm gonna have to
Can you hear me now? Should I just give my comment? Not sure.
go ahead and make your comment.
All right. It's kind of hard to hear you guys. It's cutting in and out, but I'll just go through my comment. By the way, I appreciate that John and Rod and Drew all spent considerable time talking with me about this issue. I do appreciate that, but I feel like there was a failure of leadership here. This whole thing started, we heard a gentleman a couple minutes ago talk about, people making comments about pedophiles and drag queens and things like that. And all that stuff is irrelevant. This was about a sponsorship, being labeled as a feature partner of this event. And when it was questioned as to why is Coos Health and Wellness a feature partner, it was told to us that it was over this sponsorship of mocktails and that it had to do with alcoholism prevention. And that was not what I saw at this event. I saw punch bowls with punch, and there were a couple papers next to it about alcoholism prevention, I would assume, but it was so dark in there, no one could see them. No one grabbed them. I saw no one conversing with Coos Health and Wellness about anything related to alcoholism prevention. Again, I saw none of the kids in there grabbing these papers. So it was just simply punch, sponsored by Coos Health and Wellness. And I really believe that the intention behind it was to get their logo on the poster so that they could be labeled as a sponsor to normalize this sort of stuff. And that's really unacceptable. All this could have been avoided. There's no reason that they needed to sponsor the punch at a prom. They don't sponsor punch at other proms. It doesn't make sense. And I'm really disappointed that this wasn't avoided. It caused a big problem. And ultimately, it was fruit punch. So
Right. Thank you.
That's it.
I would note that same funding does go to schools. I don't know if it's their prom specifically, but funding is used. Did we have anybody that didn't sign up? No. Does Finn want to testify?
Finn?
All right. Hearing none, I'll adjourn the meeting. Cool.
Good.